What it do, what it do, what it do. Y'all, it is your girl Sip Love, and I am so excited to be bringing you guys the next episode. So, I really wanted to dedicate these upcoming episodes for my ladies out there. Okay, so I came up with something, really special for us called A Look into a Woman's World. Okay, so of course, March was Women's History Month, but I didn't get a chance to film, so we're doing it hot right here in April. So this episode specifically is very, very important, and I need all my ladies to listen up. And without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and let her introduce herself. So how you doing?
I'm good, sweetie. How are you?
I'm doing good. So go ahead and tell the people who you are and where do you work, and just talk to them.
Okay. How y'all doing? My name is Robin. I'm a health center manager over at the East Atlanta Clinic, Planned Parenthood. Yeah, it's a lot going on that a lot of ladies don't know about. So I'm just kind of here to let everybody know what's really going on, what they're trying to do to us, how they're trying to do things, and just kind of make everybody aware.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and one more time, can you tell them what your role is at Planned Parenthood? What do you do?
I'm a health center manager.
Okay, health center manager. Perfect.
So, yeah.
Okay, so we're going to start off a little slow.
Okay.
So where was you raised, and what does your childhood look like?
I was raised in Massachusetts. My childhood was good.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have worries like they do now. When I was a kid, we played outside. There wasn't no, sitting in the house on the computer or video games. We played outside till the street lights came on. Everybody looked out for everybody. It was different, a lot different than it is now.
Yes.
Yeah.
And how would you say the healthcare system was for women back in the day?
For me,
Mm-hmm.
it was good. Went to the doctors, had no problem. When you thought you was ready, it was kind of, okay, get on birth control pills. Or back then, they only had the one IUD, which was that Paragard, which is the copper.
Mm-hmm.
Easy access. When I was in my early 20s, that's when I started volunteering at Planned Parenthood. So, yeah, it was easy access. You had your protesters here and there, but people just stayed out of your business. Your business was your business. A lot different from it is now.
Yeah. So you say it was easy accessible as far as the healthcare, meaning like insurance, like a lot of ladies back then was able to get on a lot of things.
Yes. You had your choice. The insurance companies, let you do what you wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
It was your choice.
Yeah.
They didn't get involved. A lot different from what it is now.
Yeah. And I'm glad that you mentioned that. So you said you started when you were 20?
I was about 21 when I first volunteered at a Planned Parenthood.
What made you want to volunteer?
I was actually curious about the whole insurance thing. Like, I started getting into the medical insurance. And a friend of mine worked at Planned Parenthood. So I decided to start volunteering on the weekends, and then they hired me. So I used to work just every weekend. I would go in when they were doing procedures. And in Massachusetts, and still to this day, you can get a procedure done up to 20 weeks if you need to. So I started learning a lot about Planned Parenthood and about health insurance and billing. And that's really how I started, was just kind of learning the billing side of everything. And now look.
Okay, so when you were volunteering, what role did you play? Especially at a young age.
Just working in the front office. I started working in the front office doing paperwork. Mm-hmm. And then my curious self, I started wanting to know different things. So kind of worked my way around to all the different positions just to see what it entailed, because I had never been involved in anything like that. And then I started assisting with procedures. I used to go in the room with the patients. Sometimes a patient just wants you to hold their hand and talk to them when they're going through the procedure. That just makes them feel better. It makes their whole situation a little bit better. And then, just going in the recovery room with them and just letting them know it's okay. That's one of the biggest things, is just letting someone know that it's okay what they chose to do and that you're not judging them.
Okay, so at a young age, you feel like you was comfortable being able to see that, because 19 and 20, you're getting a young adult, but you're still very young.
Yeah.
So being able to see other people. Did you ever see anybody your age come in around that time having to get procedures all the time?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. All different ages. Pregnancy doesn't discriminate.
Yeah.
It doesn't have an age, and like I said, it's just a matter of letting people know it's okay.
Yeah.
And that's what I learned.
Okay, so we're really going to get into the topic of discussion here tonight. Okay, so now correct me if I'm wrong, but back around, I'll say June 2022, that's when a lot of things started to uprise with the Roe versus Wade situation.
Yes.
And then a lot of women, you know, us, we all just started hearing all over the place, you know, about a lot of abortion laws taking into place. Okay, so how, you know, you hearing that, what was the first thing that you thought of?
We were worried because it was like, after all these years, the fact that they overturned that, one of our things we kept saying in our clinic is, are we really in this decade? Like in this decade, and this is happening? The fact that they're so concerned about it, you know what I mean? Just, we couldn't wrap our brain around it. But we did everything we had to do. Like, we had to shift the way we move. So we did everything we had to do to keep allowing our services to be performed, you know, letting patients know our doors are still open. Our doors never close.
Yeah.
They stay open, you know, even through COVID. Our doors stayed open. We worked 5 days a week with our mask and our protective gear on and all that stuff, but we still stayed open and let them pick through.
Yeah. And I'm glad that you mentioned that, because also, like I said, you guys, the year was 2022. So if you guys remember heavily, that was around COVID, and there was a lot of crazy things going around during COVID time. Yeah. So you mentioned about the center, you know, you guys was trying to figure out what would the center look like, what would Planned Parenthood look like, or any other abortion Atlanta Healthcare Women's Center would look like. Right. So take me back during that time, I guess, when COVID first happened, you know, what did, I guess, procedures look like for young ladies coming down? You spoke about the mask. So what did women have to do?
We had to make sure they, you know, didn't have a fever. If you came in and you was 100 plus, we're going to have to reschedule you. We can't, because that's usually a sign. That was a sign of COVID. You had to wear a mask. If patients came in, they didn't have a mask, we supplied them. Staff, we all wore masks. When we went in the rooms with the patients, like I said, we had on masks, plus we had on face gear, just to protect ourselves and the patients. This was all new to everybody. But again, our main thing was we wanted to keep the doors open. And so in order for us to keep the doors open, we had to, you know, shift the way we did things, because it was new to us. But we were there every day.
Yeah.
We were there every day, scared. We were scared, you know, because sometimes patients come in and, you know, people start coughing. You looking at them sideways like, you know, like, wait a minute now. I don't know about that. But, you know, we did what we had to do to keep us and the patients safe.
Okay. And also during that time, like we said, we're fighting with COVID, and we're also going through like the early stages of a lot of abortion laws. So did you guys have to tell them about the new implemented abortion laws, or have to inform about that?
Yes.
So talk to them about that. How were you telling them about that situation?
When patients came in, we had to explain to them, like, before they changed the laws and made it the 6-week ban, patients could come in up to 10 weeks. Okay. And it was like, then all of a sudden it was like 6 weeks. And if there's a fetal tone, and a fetal tone is anything that might come across the ultrasound machine. If we see any kind of anything, we have to end the appointment. So we would explain to the patients like, hey, you know, when we take you back, we're going to do the ultrasound first. We have to make sure you can even go through. And we would explain to them, and they're like, are you serious? Wow. Like, a lot of people still to today don't even have any idea that there's a 6-week ban. And how serious it is. And, you know, they come in and they're like, well, you know, I haven't seen my period in 2 months. I'm like, ooh. Yeah. We already know, like, 2 months is letting us know, like, okay, they're going to be too far.
Okay. And when you say fetal tone, are you referring to like the heartbeat?
Yes.
Of the, okay.
Yes. We call it a fetal tone. Okay. And it's like any kind of movement. If we see anything across the ultrasound machine, we have to end the appointment. Because with the band, it's, you know, it's 6 weeks, but you can go up to 6 weeks, but then again, if we see that fetal tone, that's the end of the appointment. And then we have to, what we do is we help navigate for them to go somewhere else to get it done.
Okay. Now, when you say somewhere else, like maybe a hospital or something like that?
No, we let them know what other states they can go to.
Oh, so they have to go out of state.
They have to go out of state, exactly.
Wow. Tell them what's like, I guess, would be the neighboring states or the closest states that they would have to go to get that done.
Last week they could go to Florida, and North Carolina were our closest states. Okay. But Florida just put a 6-week ban in. Wow. So, you know, it's these South states. They're they're just hurting us women. So now it's North Carolina. North Carolina would be the closest state.
Okay.
And we have what we call a navigator. So we try to help them. Like we have a person who, like, if you don't have money to pay for it, or if you need help getting there, getting the appointment made, we have a navigator that helps you do all that, because it's hard, because you're coming in expecting to get the procedure done, and then next thing you know, now I got to go out of state, and it's devastating.
What are some of those reactions that you get with tell us, you gotta let people know what's the reactions. I mean, I know it's crying. And how do you handle that?
So I mean, we go in and we talk to them. Okay. You know what I mean? We let the patient know it's going to be okay. Like, they think because they can't go through here, then it's, they're like, oh, what am I going to do now? Like, they think that's it. So then that's when we let them know it's not it. You have other options. You're just going to have to kind of rework what you were going to do. You know what I mean? But you still have choices. It's just making it harder to have that choice. So they shut it down. So we still have clinics in Alabama and Mississippi, but it's like strictly for birth control. Okay. They can't do procedures anymore. So, and it's hard. It's really hard. And it's hard when you have, like I said, when you have to explain to someone who's just snotty nose crying because all they hear us saying is, you can't go through. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, sometimes you just let them know it's going to be okay. If you need to sit here for another 20 minutes, sweetie, you can sit here. We're not rushing you out. Like, you can regroup, get yourself together. We'll come back and talk to you. And then, they usually feel better by the time they leave. Of course.
Now, before we move along here, I wanted to also talk about our younger ladies, right? Because it starts young, right? Those reactions, if there's a parent that comes with them, or do you talk to the parent first? Do you talk to the child first? Like, how is that with the confidentiality thing going on?
If they're minors.
Okay, if they're minors, okay.
They have to have the parent with them. Okay. We can't do anything if their parent is not with them. We can't even, you can't even sign in. If your mom is not there and you don't have the proper paperwork. For minors, it's really different because mom has to have IDs. You have to have birth certificates. Like, Georgia has a real strict law for that, so we're real strict on that. Yeah. And, the mom comes through the whole part, so she knows just as well as the patient does. Like, and sometimes mom don't want to hear it, and it's like she's freaking out, and it's like, okay, mom, hold on. Yeah. We're going to get her through this, but you got to be strong for her. She's just a baby. I call them babies. Because if you're 14, 15 years old, you're just a baby. Of course. So, the reaction sometimes is the parents take it harder than the kids do. Sometimes I don't even think the kids get it, like how serious it is. Yeah. And they're just sitting there like, oh, okay. And mom is crying and, they're looking like, what you crying for? Yeah. Then when we really explain it, like we break it down, then it hits them like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, they can't get what
you can't get what you came for, but we gonna get through it though. And that's the main thing, is just letting them know that there is other places you can go to get the services. It just won't be in the state of Georgia.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And so now, do you know if there was maybe an increase or a decrease of maybe clients at the time, maybe before COVID or post-COVID, still going back to that era?
COVID, pre and post-COVID, the numbers were still pretty much the same. Okay. When I was looking at the numbers, when I had asked for a report so I could see what it looked like between 2019 and 2020 and 21, our numbers stayed pretty steady. But when Roe v. Wade kicked in, it was like, our numbers were pretty much up there, but then they started declining a little bit. And I say that because people knew they were too far. So they already knew they had to figure out other options. So like I said, a woman usually doesn't know she's pregnant until, 5 to 6 weeks. So it's like, like I said, 2 months now, you realize, wow, it's been 2 months, I haven't had my period. They already know, well, there's no need for me to schedule an appointment because I have to figure out other things. So our numbers kind of went down a little bit, but right now, they're going back up. But I think patients are panicking too. And when I say that, is because they're scheduling an appointment with us. They might schedule an appointment with feminists and, Atlanta Women's Center, and figure out which place they're going to go to.
So you think they're scheduling everywhere to see who would just take them?
To see who would just take them, because no matter what, it's a 24-hour waiting period. Georgia has a 24-hour waiting period. So,
and what do you mean by that?
So when you call and make your appointment, you have to do what we call a woman's right to know. So it's something that's read to you, and then you have to wait 24 hours after you get that read to you before you can have your appointment.
Oh, okay. So that's normally the thing. So they will schedule the appointment, and then they have to wait, and then they'll get back out to them.
Yeah.
Okay. But during that time, like I said, with Roe versus Wade, you would possibly said that the numbers kind of decreased a little bit because it was like a pause moment.
It was a pause moment.
It was a pause moment?
Yeah,
okay.
It was a pause moment.
Okay. And you guys, could you say that you had any outreach, like were you able to outreach, or were you able to do anything, to get people to like, hey, we're still here, or was it just all still a standstill moment?
It was kind of, they knew we were still there. So, when I say our call center, our call center's phones were ringing off the hook. Like,
wow.
You were sitting on hold maybe 20, 30 minutes sometimes, because it was just nonstop calling, because people are like, oh, wait a minute. They're saying what now?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, the call center stays pretty busy, and our schedules, we book out, when we open up our schedules the first of the month, at least at my clinic in East Atlanta, by 2 weeks, we're already booked for the whole month.
Wow.
Whether it's only planning or MABs, which is a medical abortion.
So for those, who need a little bit more detailed information, because we hit some points about it, but now we should go through about the procedure of following through. We want to do abortions.
Okay.
So let's tell the people out there the beginning and middle and end if you want to do an abortion.
Okay. First thing you need to do, like I said, is call the call center, schedule the appointment. They'll go over everything with you that needs to be done. They'll schedule the appointment for you. Once you come into our clinic, first thing we do is we check you in, then we'll pull you back, and we do the ultrasound first. The ultrasound is just to make sure that they can even go through. Once we get the okay for them to go through, we take them to the back, we educate them, we do their intake, we go over a lot of stuff with them. There's a couple of videos that they have to watch, just, letting them know the whole process of everything that they're going to go through. We check their iron levels to make sure their iron levels are good. Just do basic vitals, and then, like I said, they get educated on the whole process of what they're going to go through when they go home.
Wow.
Because how it works is they're going to take one pill with the provider.
Okay.
That pill is the Mephiprex. I'm sure you've seen it on the news. They're trying to
I
get
think
that.
So.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Mephiprex is what's going to get you ready for your process.
And what does it do to a lady's body?
The Mephiprex is just kind of getting you ready for the process of exposing the pregnancy.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? So when you go home with 2 bottles of pills. Okay. And it's what we call the meso. Mm-hmm. The meso is what's going to make the whole process happen. Okay. You go home with 2 bottles of pills. It's 4 pills in each bottle. Like we tell the patients, when you go home, 24 to 48 hours from your appointment today, you'll take those pills, and how you take them is you just sit them on the inside of your mouth.
Oh, wow.
You let them dissolve.
Okay.
Once they dissolve, you drink some water down, and it'll start your process. Okay. We let them know what they may expect. Some things, being vomiting, diarrhea, fever, chills, those are some side effects that you might have. Some people have them, some people don't. So we let them know about that. They also go home. We send them home with 2 written prescriptions, and those are for pain and nausea. Okay. So have them get them filled at the pharmacy. We always let them know you might want to go ahead and take those before you start your process. Once their process goes through, I try to explain it down to its lamest terms. Is telling them it's like having a bad period cramp. Okay. You know what I mean? It's like, you have one period weeks where your cramping is so bad. That's what you might feel like. Okay. And they just complete the process at home. We schedule them for a 2-week follow-up. When they come for the follow-up, it's just us doing the ultrasound, just making sure everything did what it did, and then they're done. Okay, so the pills is what will get rid of the fetus or whatever. Okay, so and I think I seen a movie. Is it
for colored girls or something like that. I think when the little girl she got pregnant at a young age, and she went to get an abortion done, and it wasn't the right way. But back then they was using the tools and stuff.
We do have that. So at my clinic, so we do surgicals and medicals.
Oh, okay.
So at our Gwinnett clinic, they do surgicals.
Okay.
Which is when they suction it out. So it's you do everything right there. It's a 1-day process.
Okay.
In East Atlanta, we just do what we call the medical, and the medical is where you take the first pill at home and you complete your process at home.
Oh, okay. So, and this make you a little graphic, you guys. Yeah. So, but when they take the pills, would they see something, or
so with right now, it's the 6-week ban. So it's just usually a little tissue, like dark red, like a blood clot.
Okay.
You know what I mean? They'll see that pass because they're so early. It's not, not like it was when they were like 8 to 10 weeks.
Right.
And like I said, it's just like a bad period.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And then, like I said, with the surgical, they just get everything done that day in the clinic.
Okay, and surgical, they can get it done with 6 weeks as well, right?
Yes, they still get up to 6 weeks as long as there's no fetal tones.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah, that's the key word.
Okay.
Yep.
Y'all heard that. No fetal tones. Okay, ladies, no fetal tones.
Yes.
So, and I'm going to double back as far as, like I said, back to that procedure. So, like I said, I had a family member that assisted with escorting the process. So, I know if somebody out there have escorted a patient or whatever everything at Planned Parenthood, and when I say escort, it happens to bring that patient in because there's protesters outside of the clinic. So, as someone that worked there, how do you see that? How do you guys view that? Not more so diving into what they're protesting about, but more so about the patient when they come in. Do you calm them down or anything like that?
When we first moved over to Moreland, we didn't, our first year, we didn't have any protesters. And then all of a sudden they popped up.
Wow.
And so they're able to stand right in front of the building because it's a public sidewalk.
Okay.
So, they would scream stuff at the patients. And so, like you said, your cousin, she used to volunteer and walk the patients in. And, some of the patients would come in so shook. And I'd be like, we talked to them. Like, I would go out in the lobby. You could tell when someone's just really shook.
Yeah.
And I'm one of those people. I'll just go out there and sit down like hey, girl, it's going to be okay. Yeah. You know what I mean? Just kind of loosen her up. And I'm like, I know that's a lot. And it's just always a bunch of men out there.
Yeah. Oh, it's majority will be men?
Majority men
that's crazy.
Out there. Out there in East Atlanta, there was a lot of men out there just screaming. They had the bullhorn and they had this and that. But one thing about East Atlanta, the people that live in East Atlanta, they support us. So they come back and counter, and they'd be going back and forth, and they'd be riding by telling them to get out of here. Yeah. But it used to be a lot for the patients. And then they just disappeared. When COVID came, they disappeared. Which was good. So we're glad we don't have them anymore. Okay. But it was a lot on the patients, especially someone who's never even thought about walking in a Planned Parenthood.
Yeah.
And then you pull up and you got people screaming at you and holding signs and these ugly pictures that just don't even make no sense because that's nothing like anything that it is, But it's a lot better now. Okay. At least at East Atlanta.
Yeah. Do you hear anything, I guess, about the other ones? And what locations do you have?
We have one on Moreland Avenue. Then we have one out in Marietta.
Okay.
On Cobb Parkway. And then we have one in Gwinnett.
Okay.
In Lawrenceville.
Okay.
And their protesters show up every Tuesday and Saturday.
Every Tuesday
now
that's
and Saturday.
Crazy.
They are there. They are there holding up their signs. And it's usually out there in Gwinnett, it's a bunch of older women, older women, older men, just out there, just holding their signs and, always saying, "Oh, come with us, we can help you." Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's crazy. Well, before we wrap up here, I definitely would like for you to tell everyone, just any final tips. Or also, before we share that information, what does Planned Parenthood look right now? Let's go back to that a little bit about what's going on. I guess what is the state or the government passing out information to you guys, I guess, to let what's about to happen, or do you guys know what's about to happen?
We know when everybody else knows.
When everybody else knows. Okay.
Watching the news. They don't give us no special treatment. Wow. They don't like us. I always say that. They don't like us. But they're never going to stop us.
Okay.
That's one thing because we always have people fighting for us. the sad part that I always say is people, when they hear Planned Parenthood, they think just abortions. That's a small part of what we do.
Yeah.
We do more of women wellness.
Okay.
People come for their PAPs. People come for birth control. People come for testing. We see male and females.
Okay.
We do, people come in for PrEP. It's so many different things that we do, but when you say Planned Parenthood, the only thing people ever think of is abortions.
Yeah, honestly, that me too. Like, I will only think, but that's all they offer you. If you need to go to abortion, go to Planned Parenthood, because I guess it's just so popular. To get it done there.
That's just the known thing. But like I said, I always, I'm a big advocate. Like, some people like, oh, you let people know you work at Planned Parenthood? Yeah. I'm not ashamed of it. I wear my Planned Parenthood t-shirt sometimes on the weekends. And I think sometimes I just, people look and they'll say something. That's my time to give you some education.
Yes.
Let me educate you a little bit.
This is all educational.
And I like to educate people. I could be standing in line at the store, and when people give you that look, I'm that one.
Yeah.
You gave it to the right one.
Yes.
So
I love it. I love it.
And I'm quick to give people education. And then they're looking like, oh, really? Because again, people think all we do is abortions.
Yeah.
And we do so much more than that.
Yeah.
So I hope this helps and lets everybody know, Planned Parenthood is not bad. I've been there going on 10 years.
Hello. Okay. I love it. Yes.
And I started in the billing department.
Okay.
Because again, like I told you, I was more into billing. Once my job got outsourced, I decided to take a chance and go in the clinic. I was green when I went to the clinic. I never worked in a clinic before.
Yeah.
And, started out there in Gwinnett, and now I've been the manager at this clinic probably about 5-6 years now.
Okay.
Yeah, so I love my job. I do.
Yes.
I love my patients. I've had patients that come in since we opened, and I've been there since we opened.
Okay.
Some of my patients come in, if I'm on vacation or something, they don't see me. They're asking my staff, where's Miss Robin? She don't work here no more, because some of them say if I don't work there no more, they're not coming anymore.
Yes.
But I do. I love my patients.
Okay.
And I like to interact with people, so I'm just that person.
Yes, and I see it. And I want to thank you, because this is so awesome. I hope you guys was able to learn some things out there. I hope you was able to grasp the information here. And all my ladies, young women out there, I hope this was very informational for you to know what you should do moving forward when it comes down to abortions. Okay. Is there anything else you wanted to add, or any tips for the ladies out there?
Just
about
be
Planned
safe.
Parenthood? Yeah.
Be safe. Like I said, we offer more than just abortions. We do all kind of birth control. We do testing. It's a lot of information you can get from us. Just don't be scared to come see us, because we're not just an abortion clinic.
Yes. Okay. So we're going to do a little break right here, you guys. But when we come back, I'm going to have Ms. Robin kind of show some things that's going on at Planned Parenthood and give a little bit more detailed description about what they offer. So stay tuned. Okay. We'll be right back. What it do, y'all. So of course I couldn't let Miss Robin leave without doing some little demonstrations and showing us a little bit more about what's popping and what's going on at Planned Parenthood. Okay. So without further ado, we're going to get into our first little diagram and picture here. So Miss Robin, what we have here on the board?
This is a picture of a uterus, just showing basically what the IUD looks like. And it's a little T-shaped little plastic device that they put in. It's a form of birth control, and it's actually, the whole procedure is probably maybe 10 minutes. It doesn't even take long. A lot of the providers will go ahead and numb the patient so they don't feel anything, and then they just go ahead in and insert the IUD for them. Like I said, it's one of the forms of birth control that we have, and the different forms that we have, they last anywhere from 3 years to 12 years.
Wow.
So once you put the device in, you're covered. You don't have to worry about taking pills or using condoms if you having sex with someone that you don't know.
Yes.
But as far as that, it's definitely a good protection. It's a lot of people come in and get them. Okay. Yeah.
And now, out of all the birth control types, would you say, like, is the IUD the most effective, or?
Well, for me, they all are.
Okay.
Nothing's 100% guaranteed.
Right.
But the IUD is just as effective, just less maintenance.
Okay.
And when I say maintenance, because with the pills, of course, you have to remember to take the pills every day at the same time. With the depot shot, you have to come in every 3 months to get your shot.
Oh, wow.
So if you get an IUD or implant, those are just, once they're inserted, and you don't have to worry about them.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I know you was telling me a bit about something off camera with some grants or something that's going on with Planned Parenthood. Now, is this the grants with the birth control?
It's just at our East Atlanta clinic. It's for patients who don't have insurance. So what they did, we have a grant that allows you to pick whatever type of birth control you want. If you come in to get an IUD or an implant, you only have to pay $54. If you come in to get a depot shot or to get on the pills, you only have to pay $29. And it's helped a lot of people. You know, we've gone through the grant because a lot of people don't have health insurance, unfortunately.
Yeah.
You know, they don't have health insurance, or, you know, a lot of young people just got taken off their parents' insurance because they turned a certain age and they don't have any insurance. So just like I said, if you're ever interested, just call the call center. They'll screen you and, you know, come on in for an appointment. We'll take care of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So next, we're going to show some different examples or just the names or types of birth control. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and slide here to the next one. So, and this is directly from the Planned Parenthood's website, you guys. So feel free to look at it yourselves, okay, and get some more information because this is top knowledge, okay? Y'all need to know about this. So, let's go ahead and explain the first one, Ms. Robin.
Okay. First one is the implant.
Okay.
The implant is what we call a Nexplanon, and it's just a little device that gets inserted in your arm.
Oh, wow.
Again, it's like it says, it's low maintenance because once you get it put in, you don't have to worry about it, and it's good for 5 years.
Okay.
Then the next one, the other low maintenance one, is the IUD. And again, we have certain ones that we use, and one is good, and they're good for anywhere from 3 to 12 years. So again, once you get them inserted, you don't have to worry about it. The birth control shot, that's the depot. Okay. The depot, you come every 3 months for the shot. When you come for your first one, we give you a card that lets you know you have a window from the first time you get your shot to the next one you have due. So you have a window of the time that you have to come in. You just schedule an appointment. You can even walk in and say, hey, I'm here for my next depot shot. We go ahead and give it to you. Keep it moving for another 3 months.
Okay.
And then the other one is the vaginal ring. We can prescribe that for you, but we don't have them at the center. You have to we'll send it over to the pharmacy and you get it from the pharmacy.
Now I'm looking at that name, Ms. Rob. I'm like, the vaginal ring. What y'all thinking about that? That looks a little, it sounds a little funny.
A lot of people, I mean, for me, I think that's old school.
Old school.
That's one of the ones that anybody really ever gets.
Okay.
So yeah, people really don't use that one anymore. That's definitely
it's old school. Okay, yeah. It's old school.
That's
okay.
Definitely old school.
Okay, and then what else we got here?
Of course, we got the birth control pills. When you come in, they'll evaluate you to see which type of pills you need to be on. We have probably about 7 or 8 different types of pills. And with the pills, you have to take them every day at the same time. So when my younger people come in, they be like, you know, I don't know if I want to get on the pill because I got to take it the same time every day. I said, put that alarm on your phone.
Exactly.
Y'all always got them phones in your hand. So just set the alarm.
Yes.
It's most effective when you take it every day at the same time.
Okay.
And of course, condoms. We give out free condoms.
Yes.
FYI, we give out plenty of free condoms. Whenever you need them, come see us.
Okay. Now, I do have a question, okay? So for my ladies that don't really like condoms because maybe they may be allergic to them or may feel uncomfortable, do you know, I guess, would be the best brand? Because I know they have like, is it Bear or, I don't know, Skin Combs? I don't know what they have out there. But, you know, do you know anything about that or what could help with that?
That part I don't know.
Yeah.
I know we have different types of condoms, different sizes. The only thing we don't have is female condoms.
They have it's such thing as female condoms?
They have female condoms, but unfortunately we don't have access to them.
Okay.
But yeah, there is a such thing out there as female condoms. Sometimes they're hard to find, but they do exist. But as far as the brand names, I'm not an expert on that one.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And so we have internal condom. What does that consist of?
Internal condoms, that one stole me off a little bit because I'm like, internal condoms.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know about that.
Does it go on a female or does it go on a male?
That's why I'm like, internal condoms.
Yeah.
I've never even talked about that
Yeah.
before, so I really can't give no information on that one.
Okay, we gotta check into
Right.
all. Okay, and then is it diaphragm?
Diaphragm.
Like, okay.
Yeah, the diaphragm, that's another one that's old school. So
Old school.
that you have to send a prescription over to the pharmacy.
Okay.
That's another one that's really ever used. It's too much.
Too much.
Yeah.
Okay. But is it something that goes into the woman's body?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Got you.
Woman inserts it,
Okay.
when they feel like it's time, you got to run to the bathroom, insert it.
Oh, Lord.
Yes, just
that
a lot
like a lot.
Right. It sounds like it's a lot.
Okay.
But I call that one old school also because
Yeah.
we don't get a lot of people that use that anymore.
Okay.
Young kids be like, what is that?
Yeah. Because I'm looking like, huh?
Yeah.
Diaphragm. Okay. And then I think this is the last one.
Yes. So the sponge, another thing we don't carry at the clinic.
Okay.
That would be more of a prescription you would have to send over to the pharmacy. Also the gel and the cervical cap. Those are stuff that we just don't have in our clinic.
Yeah.
But if people, to be honest with you, my 9.5 years at Planned Parenthood, I don't think I've ever had anyone get a cervical cap, even ask about it. Spermicide and gel, it's another one. It's them old people,
Yeah.
Younger people don't know anything about that stuff.
Yeah.
And they're really not even interested in it.
Young people like me, because I'm like, just give me the simple stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Give
we
the simple
good.
stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay, well, this was great information. And so, like, for the last thing, because I know we have some people out there that, may need the grant or the scholarship that you were referring to. So can you tell them one more time, I guess, where they can find the more information about the grants and things of that nature?
Yeah. Basically, all they have to do is just give our call center a call. They'll go over everything with you. If you let them know that you're interested in, getting birth control and you don't have insurance, like I said, again, it's for people who don't have insurance. They would take care of you. They would screen you and let you know if you qualify. If you do, then they'll go ahead and schedule an appointment for you.
Yes. Well, you heard it here first on my podcast, Love My Dirty South podcast. And of course, I know I made a little exception because Ms. Robin did say she's up from North, but she's in and she's working at the Planned Parenthood in East Atlanta.
East Atlanta.
Yes. So for all my ladies, y'all see Ms. Robin here. If you need to talk or need to come in or anything, will they be open to come in and speak to you? Or
yeah. I speak to everybody.
Okay, and is it walk-ins or do you have to schedule the appointments first?
Most of the time you got to schedule because we stay booked.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, cool beans. Well, once again, this is Love My Dirty South podcast, you guys, and this is the segment, A Look Into a Woman's World. Okay. Now, Ms. Robin, do you know if Planned Parenthood has any socials, anything, or where can they keep up with you guys for more information, or do they just need to go to the website?
They can find everything on the website.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely find everything on the website, and they do have a Facebook page.
Okay.
And I'm not a social media person, so all that stuff. But yeah, go to the website. They'll find everything they need there.
Yeah. Okay. All right. All right, y'all. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. It is Love My Dirty South podcast once again. Be sure to follow the podcast on Instagram, Dirty South Network, and follow me. I am Sip Love on Instagram. You can also keep up with the podcast and watch this episode hot when it drops on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. Love My Dirty South. All right, y'all. Thanks for tuning in and peace.